So what is HIV? HIV is also known as the human immunodeficiency virus, which is the actual virus that causes AIDS, autoimmune deficiency syndrome, which is a clinical manifestation or a sequela of disease. So ultimately you begin with an infection, and then over time your immune system becomes degraded. The white blood cells start to drop and the viral load starts to go up, and a person starts to develop lots of diseases that they normally wouldn't develop if they were a healthy individual. If a patient is infected with HIV, they can spread it to other people. It's spread by person to person. So it is a communicable disease, generally transmitted through blood or bodily fluids.
Hi, my name is Marvin. I'm 40 years old. I'm HIV positive. When I was first diagnosed, I was scared. I was so scared that I just immediately went into denial, acted as if it didn't exist, acted as if I didn't even have it, and just kind of put it in the back of my mind.
My name's Arlene. I am 26-year-old. I am HIV positive, and I have a 2-year-old daughter who is HIV negative. My boyfriend was arrested, and he had told him he had full-blown AIDS. And the officer that arrested him came out of his way to find me 3 days later and told me that I needed to get tested for HIV.
There were many nights where I would think about it and think about it in silence and think about it when I was alone, and fought really hard with myself to keep it out of my mind. That way I would not be afraid, I would just deal with it later. Well, unfortunately, HIV is not something that you can deal with later. It's something that needs attention right away.
Magic Johnson doesn't have HIV anymore. He's cured. No, once you have it for a lifetime. However, if you follow a treatment regimen, you exercise, you diet appropriately, you just take care of yourself, then you can keep your viral load down. And that's what he's been successful and able to do. He is not unlike most of our patients who follow the treatment regimen appropriately.
I need naps. I definitely need naps. Fatigue. I have a hard time due to my medication. I do have all the side effects. And that's the hard part living with HIV. Is the side effects to your medication if you get any.
Knock on wood, I don't get any side effects from any of the medications. There are some side effects, and those can be treated as well. So I used to be afraid of medication because all I would hear are side effects, side effects, side effects, side effects, awful side effects. Well, just as with any other medication you would take, whether you're HIV positive or not, there's always side effects. There will always be side effects. So side effects can be managed as long as they're mentioned and you do have a good rapport with your physician, your doctor, your caretaker, whoever. Don't be afraid to talk about your side effects.
We have groupings of medication, and within those groupings you have 6 drugs here and maybe 5 drugs here. Well, if one of those 6 in the first group you didn't follow the regimen correctly, you stopped taking the medication when your doctor told you to still take it because you weren't feeling so well and you thought, well, my viral load's great, so I feel good, why do I need to finish? So you stop finishing. You allow the virus to now become resistant to that drug. Well, not only is it resistant to that one drug in this group, you now marked out that whole class of drugs, so none of them in that group will work for you.
Seek for help. It's okay to get help. There's great doctors. There's medication. Just don't be scared of it. It's not the end of the world. It's not death. If I can get through it, anyone can. If I can change my life, so can you. The only way to survive the HIV is by changing your life, depending on how it is you got it.
When I finally accepted and embraced it is when I truly found the peace with it and was able to really truly focus on my healing. And once I started healing myself and embracing my HIV status, my health got stronger, my mind got stronger, my emotions became stronger, and ironically I find myself a stronger person now, emotionally and physically, than I've ever been in my entire life, even prior to my HIV.
HIV and AIDS is no longer a death sentence, and it's really important that any person who's positive or even thinks they're positive gets tested and then follows treatment. But it's also important to know that just because you don't follow treatment, that you shouldn't just give up and say, well, I didn't follow treatment in the beginning, I'm too sick now, because you can always, at any point in time, decide to start treatment.
The disease is not who you are, it's what you have. And that's one thing you do have to understand. It's not going to kill you. You can live years. You die of other things nowadays. It's not who you are. It's what you have.
Through the ashes and the embers that have burned their way through me. Oh, but today, looking for hope, I'm finding a change. Today, I open my eyes to find my way, to be true to my soul, to get back in control of all I lost along the way. I try to do what's right, but they don't like a word I say. Oh, they can try to close their eyes, but they still can't make this go away. Yeah. Whatever happens in the future, I'm living now with no